Hey guys, bit of an update. Got the test fitted the roof on the car. Obviously the back section here is not cut, so I just got everything else on the A pillars and the B pillars cut and ready to fit in. And then just obviously this one's a lot more complex with all the inner paneling and whatnot over here. So I just lay the two on top of each other and just got a nice line here that I can cut it and obviously have a minimal amount of gaps and stuff. So anyway, the other roof is also marked off. So now I'm going to start cutting, and then hopefully after these cuts are made, I can put it down and obviously get it into the correct position. But we're then ready for welding thereafter. Obviously the only thing that concerns me now is the angle of the cut. You know, whether I cut it parallel to the ground or at a 3 degree or whatever the case may be over here. So yeah, that's the part that's going to get a little bit tricky now. But anyway, let's make the cut and get this thing going. Hey guys, so a bit of an update. I trimmed the roof out and I managed to manhandle it onto the car here. Clamped it in a few spots. I haven't got clamps to clamp every single one. So yeah, for the moment this one's clamped up, lining up very well, can be welded. This one also just needs to be pulled back and clamped and then welded. This one is lining up so well, the part number even lines up on the inner panel, so quite happy with that. This side of the car is not laying so great, as there's no clamps on it. So once I put some clamps on this side, I think I'll be in a much better space. You can see here, this section is a bit proud, but the moment you pull the front into its spot, that pretty much lays right where it should be. And then the gaps around the doors are all nice and snug the way they're supposed to be. So at this point, I'm quite happy with everything. So I'm going to tackle it with some some steel self-tapper screws and maybe some spot welds here and there, like these sections where the part number goes there, where it doesn't overlap. So I think this section I'll spot weld, and then sections like here where I've got an overlap, I can put some self drillers in there or self tappers in there, and just get everything into place. The back doors I've already put on just to get my height on this section right. So that's going to be the plan of action now. Get this roof secured, whether it be with spot welds and self tappers, and then get the hatch back on, make sure that the hatch opens and closes the way it's supposed to. Get the front doors on, make sure they're open and closed, and the gaps and everything all along here are all correct. Obviously this section is going to be a little bit interesting because there's nothing there, but if this section all closes correctly and it's closing onto the frames properly here, then we know we're good. Then once we know that's good, we can weld up everything here, place the top cover on, and we can double check again on the door. But anyway, that's the plan of action now, so I want to get that attached and measure again. Anyway, here goes. So guys, I've test fitted the door here. I managed to get that on, check the clearances for this little piece of post that I cut out, and then obviously I'll just need to then pull this and line it up a bit better, and I'll do some spot welds and clamp it in place. But for the most part, everything's lining up. I've put the trim back in here. This door frame's a little bit out. As you can see, it's pushed down a bit here, but obviously when the car rolled, it landed there. So it's pulling the frame out here a bit as well. But I've spoken to Jared. We're not going to change the door right now. This is obviously being a track car, the door's going to get smashed up at some point. So at that point we'll worry about that. It's a minor gap, but otherwise everything else lines up. The rubbers are sealing nicely everywhere else. This stuff will now need to, I've welded in on the structural stuff, so the thin, I'll have to turn the machine down and weld the thin metal here, and then we can fit the window piece that I cut out, and then everything's back on, and then the guys can get cracking with the filler work. Obviously everything's lining up here, so we just need to cut that and trim it. This one's already been trimmed. This stuff I've already did a bit of welding yesterday. Just need to do the inner panel here. This one's already done, and this one's already done. Then obviously that just needs to go into there, so that needs to be trimmed to place. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get the welder out and start welding everything under the main skin, and then once that's all done, we'll give it a crack, putting all the window panels back on, and yeah, hopefully get this thing done today still. Okay, so the welding on the car is all done. The only thing that's still missing is a spot of weld missing on that post on the passenger side. The paint shop's obviously going to pull that up and then complete the weld, and then obviously pull all this, the rest of the damaged post out with their spot puller, and then obviously filler that stuff up and sort that out. The welds are obviously a bit rough because you've got to sit and spot weld the entire way across. I think the steel's like 1 or 1.5 mil thick, so it's very thin. So you can't get a nice continuous weld because you end up just burning through. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt. But anyway, so this must all just be ground down now, and then it'll be ready for filler. And if we go inside here, the weld's also done across. It's a bit dark, but yeah, it's done across there. And then if you look on the inside of the B pillar as well, the welding is all done up at the top here. It must all just be ground smooth, so that it looks all OEM and whatnot. And obviously here also we don't actually have to go too crazy here because it gets covered by rubber and then a plastic panel. So yeah, I think once all the trim's on, we're not really going to know the difference if the roof on this car has been changed. But anyway, obviously all the grinding, like I said, it's a whole lot of spot welding, so I didn't film that because it's just very monotonous. But yeah. But anyway, the guys from the paint shop need to come around and take a look at it now that it's all done. So give us a quote and hopefully get it off to them. So yeah, anyway, that's the plan of action at this point. I'm going to whip out the grinder and just start trimming the stuff down. And then yeah, hope it goes away, and when it comes back we can look at suspension and engine and gearbox and all the rest of that stuff and wiring, and actually get the car to drive. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day here. Yeah, I spent most of today just welding out everything. So yeah, it's a bit of a long one. So I'm gonna head home now. I'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. Hey guys, we're back at the shop. It's been a few weeks since we last worked on Jared's car. So Jared is over here as well. We're going to prep this thing to get down to the paint shop. This car was used as a rally car before, so these bars in front here were additional that they put in to protect the radiator. Obviously we don't need the weight, and we don't go flying over jumps and stuff, so we don't need that, and it's in the way. So we're going to cut that stuff out. Jared's also busy removing these unnecessary mountings here, which obviously when we paint we want that stuff to be out of the way. This also needs to come out. There were additional bars in here which we've cut that section out. This goes through to the inside on the frame on the roll cage, so that's also going to be removed. We need to trim a bit here for the brake booster that goes in there, clean up the welds here and here where those bars were. Other little things when we get inside here, all the windows and stuff need to come off, and the door mirrors and the door cards. And we've already measured for the seat rails that we're going to weld in over here for Jared's seat, this one here. And then obviously the dashboard's going to come out as well. So we're just going to get cracking on all this stuff, get it ready to go to the paint shop, and that they can paint this thing. So yeah, let's get it on. Hey guys, as you can hear, the rain is coming down. We got caught, so we just had to rush quickly and pull the car inside. Jared and I both got a bit wet. Hopefully you can hear me over all the thundering down the roof. But for the most part, all the little extra bits that needed to be ground out and removed here, Jared has done. And there, thankfully the rain is stopping. So that's all out. And then he's actually taken the doors off here. He's going to take the doors home and strip the weather strips and glass and winder motors and door handles and locks and all that stuff out. So the doors are just bare. They can be painted like that. Obviously we're a bit tight for space now, so he's going to do that at home, and obviously with the weather, he's going to park it up in his garage and sort of like that. for the most part, the car just needs a vacuum. The seat rails are welded in now, nice and solid. The only thing we still got to do there is drill the holes for the seat rail brackets to attach to. But yeah, for the most part, we sorted. Rails are in, doors are off, everything in the engine bay stripped. Firewall's been removed. Obviously, these cars, they bolt out, so, and most times they are left, they're not sprayed the same color as the car. They're left black and bolted on after the cars are painted. So that's perfect there. Yeah, the bumpers and everything are ready to go. So the only thing we still need to do is remove the rear tail lights, and then this car's ready to go to the paint shop. And then they'll obviously sort all this out, and we'll surprise you guys with the color yet. Jared, I think, has already made his decision. So once it goes on, it'll be a bit of a surprise for you guys. But anyway. So yeah, let's get this thing painted, let's get it rolling on some suspension after that, and then hopefully get a motor and get it driving. So yeah, long-term goal, but anyway. But yeah, we're going to call it a day for today. Let's get the rear lights out there quickly, and then head on home. And then, yeah, when the weather's a bit better, get this thing down to the paint shop. Anyway, catch you guys later.